Bruce Hill, new skills, new you. Well, let's just align a little bit. There we go. I'm so excited for anyone that offers a transformation. All right. If you are a coach, consultant, trainer, if you help people get from A to B, this is for you. A lot of, well, let's start from the beginning. So my name is Bruce, and new skills, new you is perfect starting off 2022 because a lot of times I think a change on the calendar means a change in our lives, but sometimes it just means a change on the calendar. And what I've discovered over the years in my own personal growth is that as I learn a new skill, my life changes. And that's where I become a new version of myself. So that could be emotional intelligence. That could be learning to play the piano. That could be learning sales skills. That was a huge change for me. I always looked at salespeople as like terrible people, right? Always trying to manipulate you and deceive you and trick you into spending money that you don't have on things you don't need. But as I became more and more skilled at sales, I realized that they're problem solvers, that they help folks solve a problem. The folks that operate ethically, and they help them make their life a little bit better. So I was like, yo, I can be a good person and a sales professional. And that was a huge paradigm shift for me. That's where I started to hone the craft. And that's where I'm going to share the skill with you today. It's something called a question path, right? Sometimes if you look on maybe my Instagram, you'll see getting a client from A to yes, or hearing yes more often, or asking better questions. It all comes around to the same structure. When you talk about sales, I want you to forget about the money for just a second. A sale happens when you transfer enthusiasm from you to another person. That could be, hey, go check out this movie. It was amazing. It could be, oh my goodness, I tried this restaurant last week. It was delicious. You've got to try it too. That's where that transfer of enthusiasm comes from one person to another. And what's really fun about sales is you don't have to be a great talker. You don't have to be an extrovert. Um, you don't even have to be very particularly greedy or money focused. If you're excited about a transformation that has impacted your life and the lives of people around you, and you want to share that, sales is going to be an important part of you growing your business. So if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if you're a consultant, and you help people transform their lives, maybe it's teaching leadership so organizations can run more effectively. Maybe you're a physical fitness trainer. You're help people get confidence in who they are, right? It's more than just losing weight. The transformation comes from the confidence. Maybe you're a life coach and you're helping someone remove themselves from an unhealthy relationship. Okay, that's a transformation. This is for you. I want to teach you how asking better questions can not only gain you new clients, but offer a bigger transformation for those clients that do say yes, and all without sounding like a salesperson. It's very simple. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This works great for discovery calls, or if you have a clarity or onboarding call, introduction call, whatever you want to name it. That usually is about 15 minutes, and it doesn't need to be more than that. I'll show you why in just a second. The purpose of that conversation is to understand their problem, connect them to a solution, and get them to the next step. That's it. We're not talking about creating a coaching program or building a whole digital course. We're just saying, hey, listen, Mr. or Mrs. potential client, here's the problem I solve. Is this the problem you have? Yes or no? Okay, great. Do you want to keep that problem? Say, no, I want to get rid of it. Excellent. Here's the solution I want to offer you. Here's the next step. So that sounds really simple. If I went too fast, we can grab the recording, no problem. Or if you need some one-on-one help, not a problem, visit me on Instagram, New Skills, New You, first link in the bio. So that's all we're doing. We're not trying to overcome objections and practice persuasion or convince people and emotionally manipulate them. No, not at all. We simply want to get them from where they are to where they want to go, or at least a step closer. That could be signing up for your program. That could be enrolling in your coaching program. That could be downloading a digital course. That could be reading your book. It doesn't necessarily have to be money in the next step. If you want to grow your business, here's something that you'll want to learn real quickly. The more money you make, the more lives you can change for the better. So I hope that as a compassionate, ethical person, this training will help you change some lives for the better. So here's what we'll do. It's called a question path. The first step is asking for permission. The second step is their current situation. Their third step is where they want to go with future aspirations. The fourth step is their obstacles, what's in the way. And the fifth step is your solution. You present the next step. All right. Really simple. Now, for that discovery call, for the, what's the word? Introduction, clarity call, whatever you want to call it, it really should be just 15 minutes for that portion. If you decide to do some coaching in that same call, if you decide to give them some additional value, that's fine. But this is designed to be very simple, structure, and very brief, so you can be efficiently get rid of any headache clients before they become headaches and hear yes from the right clients more often. So here's how you can use it. You say, hey, Bruce, thanks for so much for taking the time out of your day. Is this still a good time to chat? All right, that's asking permission. You say, hey, I understand, Bruce, that you want help automating your webinars. Is that correct? Yeah, absolutely. All right, excellent. Let's go ahead and get started. So we've asked permission. It's such a simple step, but if you have any kids or maybe you're on your lunch break, life happens, right? Sometimes you're like, you know what? I don't have time to talk right now. Can we reschedule? Or just a minute, I'm looking for my AirPods. I always like to start asking permission, and that is the first yes. I like that people get used to telling me yes. So now we get into the call and say, well, Bruce, what are you using for webinars right now? Hey, I'm using Zoom. Okay, great. How's that treating you? There should be 3 or 4 questions at each step in order you to understand clearly what it is they're looking for. And another webinar we do, actually, I think it's tomorrow, is on asking better questions. So we won't dive into that here. We're going to ask 3 or 4 questions on each step. And this is wonderful for introverts. Shout out to all the introverts out there, because the client does most of the talking. All you got to do is take notes. And that's very empowering, because listening is the most effective sales skill. I think a lot of times, I said it earlier, if you think you have to be a great talker, you have to be an extrovert, those people, long run, are usually poor salespeople, because they're too busy worried about what they have to say and being right than they are about solving a problem and taking care of the customer. Introverts, phenomenal salespeople. So you'll love this. Just ask them a bunch of questions. Hey, how's it going? What's working? How long have you been doing that? When did you get started? Why did you choose this platform? Question, 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 question. Once you feel that you have a clear picture, you may even ask, is there anything else about your current situation you want to share with me? Oh, yeah. Did you know, by the way, I like to travel a lot. Oh, okay, that's great. Then you go to the future aspirations. Well, I'm glad you said that, Bruce. What would you do if you could travel more often? Where would you go? There could be, what does success look like? Go to, let's see here, asking better questions, plural, askingbetterquestions.com. I have a list of great questions to have more effective conversations. I think it's like 46 questions, super random number. But they're such good questions because they create a conversation. They're not just a yes or no. All right, askingbetterquestions.com. So you ask them where they want to go. What does the future look like if everything went the way you want it to go? What does the success look like? What does a win look like? If you didn't have to do any work, right? Money wasn't an issue. What would you be up to? As you uncover where they want to go, ideally there should be a gap. There should be a gap. So I'm here. We talked about step 2 is their current situation, and step 3 is their future aspirations. Where the farther apart that is, the more likely they're going to say yes to a solution. If it's just a minor inconvenience, like, what's wrong? Well, I gotta tap the door twice before it opens. They're probably not going to buy a new door. But if you're like, hey, I have to do the hokey pokey and turn myself around every time I want to open this door, they may buy a new door. Right? You don't have to convince them if the problem is big enough. If the gap between where they are and they want to go is big enough, it's very little convincing. It's only a matter of explaining the solution you have to offer. But that's step 5. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. So once we understand where they are, then we look at where they want to go. We want to send the obstacle. What's in the way? Why haven't you already accomplished this? Where is the obstacle? What's the barrier? What's stopping you? This is uncovering their pain. People make decisions for two reasons. We talk about this in the Asking Better Questions webinar. They either want to increase their happiness or they want to reduce their pain or solve a problem, however you want to phrase it. That's the only two reasons fundamentally people make decisions. Now, maybe more complex, it might be a combination of the two, but at the very bottom, it's one of those two, right? People don't eat chocolate cake because it makes them live longer. Delicious, right? And a lot of people don't like going to the gym, but hey, I've got to get my blood pressure down, right? Solves a problem. Whatever it is, make sure you ask this one question. Write this one down. What have you tried so far? I had to ask this question because I started making recommendations. I was talking too much and not enough listening. I started making recommendations of things people already tried, and I was losing opportunities. I was losing chances to serve and solve problems. So it's like, oh, Bruce doesn't know what he's talking about. I already tried that. I got to go buy. And I'd be on the other end of the phone, Zoom, talking to myself. Make sure you ask them, hey, what have you tried already? That's so important. That's so important because I'm not here to teach you how to convince people or trick people. It's not the goal. We sincerely want to help people's lives be better. Do that, you have to understand what's wrong. So they may tell you, man, Bruce, I've tried everything. I tried this and that. I've tried A and B, X, Y, and Z. Man. You can even ask, like, how long has this been a problem? Oh, man, I haven't been able to figure this out for 3 or 4 years. I saw you on Instagram. I watched your YouTube video, and I heard you at the conference. And I was like, man, maybe Bruce can help me out. Yeah, absolutely. I'm here to serve. So, is there anything else you've tried, or any other ideas you had to fix this? And they'll usually say something like, no, if I could do this, then this. That's where the sale just happened. That's where the sale just happened. They say, hey, Bruce, you've been trying to grow your business using webinars. Yep. As you want to travel and you want to be available for events and people that are important to you. Yep. But you can't find a system that works consistently or automatically. You got it. Okay. That's when we do step 5. We present the solution. We'll say, hey, Bruce, I have shout out to the Keisha Williams. She will use Easy Webinars, and that's the platform we're on right now, to automate the process. So you don't have to be there. You can still teach and serve folks and put it all in, what's the word I'm looking for? Put it all on auto. When would you like to get started? There's a whole nother training we do on asking for the money. And it's not about the money. But a lot of people are afraid to ask for the business, or afraid to ask for the seller, afraid to send an invoice. And we won't get into that right now. But you say, hey, listen, if this solution solves your problem, doesn't make sense we work together. Yeah, absolutely. Now, some people say no. Say, yeah, you know what, Bruce, my problem's not that big. I'll keep it. And we'll use that words, but that's what they're saying. Ooh, excuse me. But most of the time, if they, excuse me, if they feel understood, if they feel like your solution solves their problem, they're going to say yes. Simple. No psychology degree needed. All right, and we're back. You don't have to throw your ethic out the window. You can practice compassion. You can be kind and honest and fair, and you can still make money. And you're changing lives while you're at it. You sleep good. So let's use a perfect example. I was working with a music producer of all people, and I said, hey, I don't know a whole lot about music. Tell me about what's going on. He said, well, one of the things I do as a producer is I got to get artists in to the studio and book some studio time. So, okay, great. Where are you having difficulty doing that? And so he says, well, there's a lot of places that people can go to. So I asked him, I said, well, what is a reason or two that people should work at your studio. And he said he's one of the few producers. And now, excuse me, I want to use the wrong language. But apparently, he can do both ends of the process. And he's, as an artist, he understands both ends of the full kind of holistic view of creating music. So he can produce and mix and master everything in between. Well, that's a huge value add because they can not only get it done right the first time, but they can get it done in one place. So I told him, if I can help you communicate effectively the value you add to artists and grow your business, can we work together? He said, yeah, that'd be great. And actually, it's one of, I wish I had maybe I put this in the slides. I wish I had his testimony. It was a really great testimony. And it was very fulfilling to work with him and help him grow his business. So that was it. There's no sales pitch. There was no masterful language I used. I was just like, look, if I can do this, you want to work together? He said, yeah. I said, great. So I walked him through my asking better questions and how he uses it all the time. And he's been having a lot of success. It's been great to watch him thrive. Another example, I helped a notary. And his issue was a little bit different into the business because he works with a lot of consumers that are very price conscious. And maybe as a coach, consultant, you understand this feeling. So they'll say things like, hey, I need to shop around. I want to keep looking. I think I can get a lower price. Have you heard some of those before? So what he was struggling with is like, what do I say when people say no? And if you want to dive into that further, there's go to the Instagram New Skills New You, and it's closing the sale with confidence. Click on that one. So we decided, said, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to ask him a question to interrupt the thought pattern. And so I taught him a set of questions that he could ask, not being pushy or rude or belittling, but say, hey, listen, Mr. Client, how long have you been looking for a notary? So I'll tell you. And we said, okay, what happens if you save $2, but they're late or they don't show up? Is that going to be a big problem or a little problem? Now, if they're closing a house or if there's a power of attorney, someone's on limited time, that could be a big problem. He said, hey, if I can, and this is the same thing I practiced, the same thing I taught him, if I can get it done right the first time, avoid any fraud, and make sure all state laws are being followed, does that make sense for you? He's been really excited at the response he's been getting because he's been leaving a lot of money on the table. And just having that confidence to ask comes out in his voice. And this was just recently from this recording, so I'm excited to track his progress as well. Asking better questions is going to be a game changer for your business and almost any area of business, right? I talked about a music producer, talked about a notary, and let's see, a realtor. Who else have I helped? A content creation and content manager. Asking better questions, I believe, is one thing anyone can do that's sincere and authentic to themselves to grow their business. Right? I'm not teaching you to do reels. Some people don't like to be on TV. I'm not telling you should do webinars every day. Some people don't like talking and certainly don't like being on camera, right? I want you to be your authentic self and grow your business. I want you to operate ethically with compassion, change some lives, and grow your business. I believe those can overlap. And I believe that asking better questions is how you make that happen. So if you need some help, that's what to do, right? If you need a set of questions for your business, let's keep it very simple. I offer one-on-one. Again, it's New Skills New You on Instagram. It's the first link in the bio. At the end of the call, we're going to make sure you're more confident, that you have a set of questions specific to your business, your needs, and to you. And last but not least, any challenge that you've been running into when you've been hearing no will help uncover those, either prevent them or face them. All right, my name is Bruce Hill, New Skills New You. I help coaches, consultants, and trainers hear yes more often by asking better questions, all without sounding like the salesperson we all hate. Thanks for tuning in.